Hi, I'm Xavier Rolet, Chief Executive Officer of the London Stock Exchange Group, a 450-year-old institution, but more importantly in today's economy, a passionate advocate and supporter of young enterprises, startup, tech community, and of course of NEF itself. I think business, by and large, particularly very large companies, international companies, are facing some challenges of a societal nature, some reputational. And young people with good ideas about new things they could create now have the means to change their own lives and change the lives of their fellow citizens. And that through the simple medium of creating a business, which is the reason why we support the work that NEF does to facilitate business creation, streamlining the procedure, making access to capital easier.
I think what I like about the NEF events in general is that you're coming together not just with people who share the same interests, but with people who can offer everyone sound advice and people who are in the know. So you get a bit more out of it than you would just reading different articles and different papers. You get the real interaction.
When else would you get access to the London Stock Exchange? And to meet the CEO of the stock, that's not going to happen. So for me, NEF is special because you're getting access to people and venues, knowledge that you would probably not get otherwise.
I think my advice to entrepreneurs looking for funding is pretty simple. Like, have a business plan. I mean, you're selling me your, you're asking me to invest in your business. The only way I'm going to get my money back is if you do a good job. So I'm really interested in why you're going to do a good job. So one, what's your product? What's your marketing strategy? What's your plan to develop your business? How are you going to access your customers? You'd be amazed how many businesses don't have the vaguest idea how they're going to find customers. Who's your competition? And what are you going to do when something goes wrong? And these are the things I'm kind of interested in. And the other thing I would say is don't settle for not enough. If your business plan requires £50,000, it requires £50,000. Starting your business on 20,000 means you'll fail. So if you really believe you need 50,000, go for the 50,000. Don't compromise at 20,000, you'll fail.
The critical question for anybody who's trying to start a business at almost any age, particularly for young entrepreneurs, needs to be twofold. The first is, why is it that you're doing this? If there is something that means that you want to go and change the world, that you have an idea about a new product or a new service and you desperately wanted to get it to market, and a new business is the best way of doing that, then that's great. If the better way of doing it might be to take that product into a bigger company, or indeed take your enterprising attitude but take it to government and change the law and so on, maybe you should think about pursuing it in another way. So the first question to ask is a new business the best way of bringing about this change? And it isn't good enough to simply say, I want to start a business, what am I going to go and do? We don't need any more wantrepreneurs who simply think that this is a lifestyle choice. It's got to be about being convinced that you're going to change the world and starting a business is the right way to do it. The second thing is you have to ask yourself, particularly if you're young, do I now have the skills that I need? Do I need more information about the industry I might work in? Do I need more experience in order to be successful? And in some cases, the answer is no. You don't need any more. You are the expert. You are closer because nobody else is doing it. And in that case, you should get on with it and good luck to you.
I would definitely say that today was a great insight into not just entrepreneurial funding for once, but funding generally and finance a bit generally, giving everyone a bit of, I guess, commercial context.
It was almost like seeing how SMEs fit into the greater picture. So it's not just like the journey of, an entrepreneur startup to sort of like, exit. It's how they get to being a large established company and what the link is between those two things.
This evening's changed my perception because it's given me the understanding that IPOs and large sources of funding are more accessible than we originally thought. And that it's not just about tech companies. I
guess also hearing the perception that American companies have it so much easier. That whole idea being smashed by the idea that, if you are lucky enough to get investment in the UK or in Europe, you're probably going to get it at a higher valuation. And therefore, as an entrepreneur or as a startup founder, you actually benefit more from the success of your company than you would in the States. That was quite a refreshing and nice thing to hear.
My advice be, do not inhibit, restrict your ambition. Your ideas are your own, you know what you're doing, or maybe you don't, maybe there will be failures along the way, but do not self-limit or restrict your own ambition. Be as ambitious as you can ever be. No one will be ambitious for you.